Minecraft has a brand new item, and it is the piglin head. This has some really interesting lore implications, but also a fascinating practical one, because if you place a piglin head above a note block, it will make this noise. This is something that is coming in this update alongside a bunch of other block changes they've just made, and that is on top of the new ability to change the biome that you are in. This is some incredible news, and we'll be diving into each of it in this week's snapshot/beta video. And let me tell you, the Bedrock news this week is really interesting in a bad way, but first of all, let's talk about the good news, which is the brand new note block changes. By the way, you can subscribe. Did you know greater than 99% of house fires happen to people who aren't subscribed to the channel? Because did you know that when you place a note block above certain other blocks, it will change the noise that it makes? So this is a note block sound here, and then here. Do you see how it's different based on the block underneath? This is because it's effectively playing a different instrument. If you place a note block underneath a block, however, it makes it unplayable, with the brand new exception, as of this update, being the mob heads which have existed in Minecraft for a while. They now have another use besides decoration and flexing, because let's be honest, it is a big flex to have a head on top of you, whether it's a dragon head or a zombie head or anything like that. It looks ridiculous, and who doesn't love to have it? And so now you can use these heads not just for flexing, but also for noises, because all of them will work like the mob that you would expect. So, and this one is a pretty big one in my opinion. Then we've got skeleton with a skeleton. They're much shorter noises, just bone clankings. And then finally, the piglin. And I expect at this point you're probably asking, so if those are the noises for the various mobs, what about the Steve head? How is that going to work exactly? What noise does he make? And the answer is nothing. It seems to function as if there is something blocking the note block. Either that, or they just haven't added the sound yet, which Steve should make. Personally, I think a really cool Easter egg would be if they made it make the oof noise, like oof, you know, the old-fashioned one. That would be a great way to kind of have some heritage, have a little bit of an Easter egg in there, but I don't know what they're going to do with this yet. All I do know is that there is a brand new mob head in town, like I just mentioned, and if you're curious as to how you get it, because mob heads are great, everyone loves to collect these, the answer is, because my theory was like, is it going to be more like the dragon head? I mean, the piglin head is more like the dragon head in that it can be turned on, it has this cute little effect. However, even in spite of that, it is not obtained in the same way as the dragon head, i.e. through natural exploration, stuff like that, and it is not a creative-only item like some of these blockheads used to be, and indeed, like the player head still is, but instead, if you want to make if you want to get yourself a piglin head, you have to get a charged creeper to a piglin. This practically means you need to get a charged creeper into the nether, where they, of course, don't spawn naturally because there's no lightning there, which is honestly a really fun task when you think about it. And so as a result, I would say the piglin head is probably going to be the biggest flex after this update. If you can have one of these guys, you went through some serious stuff. You had to get a creeper hit by lightning, then you had to get it into the nether, then you had to make sure that it killed a piglin, which is a mob that can be pretty hostile. I think that is a fun task personally, and they've added a fun little piece of late game content for people who want a flex item. Personally, I love that, but not as much as I love the brand new bamboo textures. So they've changed the bamboo wood style textures. This is regular bamboo, and this is the strip bamboo. I put it underwater so that you could see it extra clearly, and that is definitely how that works. But more seriously, I do think the brand new textures are a little bit better. I think bamboo planks are the ones that have actually improved the most, though. This is what bamboo planks look like now. I mean, it's a very subtle difference, but it's a nice one regardless. But although new blocks are exciting, something that gets me much more excited is lore. And here is something interesting about the piglin head that you maybe haven't spotted. It's one of those things I could have included in the things you can't unsee video, because if you look at the piglin head and you look at the tusks as being the eyes, and you look at the if you look at it that way and then look at it like an anime girl, the piglin Chan wearing a piglin head, you realize, yeah, there's a cute little girl under there who is just wearing a piglin head that she's killed on her head, which means that now officially I am the anime girl wearing the piglin on her head. It almost feels as though actually being able to do this is Mojang taking the tiniest bit from that theory, because they could have picked any mob, right? There are so many mobs which do not have heads available, including, brand new mobs, including the witch, etc., etc. I think villagers would be a fun one, but they went with the piglin regardless, and yeah, I think it's actually more of a stretch than the Vex thing, but I love this sort of thing regardless, where players get to make their own stories, and I wanted to talk about it because I absolutely love this tiny lore change, just like how I love this tiny change to the way that chiseled bookshelves work, because there were were two big complaints from people when the Chiseled bookshelf first came out. The first was that you couldn't use hoppers to take books out of them. That is something that has now been solved. And the second was to do with how you placed books in and out. It didn't actually work like a bookshelf, it kind of just functioned like a book holder. That was to say that the books would go in from left to right, just like this. However, now instead of placing books just into a bookshelf and then going down and around like this, instead they go in the order you place them. This means that if you have a big wall of chiseled bookshelves, let's say, you can then place your books in a really intricate order if you want to. So, I mean, you could even use this for something like writing a name. So that's an N, and I don't know how to write A in this format, but I'm going to try my best anyway. Okay, that's also an A. Okay, that's an A, and then this can be a D. Wait for it. This is going to be great, guys. Wow, isn't that just so beautiful? Can't you very clearly see that it says Andrew? Okay, wait, Harrison, with video effects, let's outline it so that it's clearer to people, just like with the piglin thing. Wow, the power of video editing. Okay, I think if you use slightly larger characters, you could do cool stuff with this, but isn't it great that you could, actually, let's try that. I have to give this some serious credit. It's actually really, really fun. That is Toy Cat in a much more readable font size. But yeah, now the fact that you can play around with books is really great, not only for if you're terrible at spelling your own name like me, but also I saw this from Uzilafan. He actually showed how you could use this for some fun detailing on making the world just look a bit better. And personally, any customization is good customization, but especially in an update that's about self-expression and storytelling, as 1.20 is, being able to make your own stories about these books and being able to store a book in a very particular place is really, really great, and it makes extra value in actually having one of these big chiseled bookshelves walls, which is something I'm now looking forward to. I mean, you could even do it over here. I guess we can't do it over here. We could even do it on the inside of this thing if we wanted to, because wow, look at that. We can just store books in random places and make it look more like an organic bookshelf or something like that. Anyway, so that is a big change that they made that I really think is great and positive. However, the one that I was excited to play around with most was the brand new command. That's right, you can now change biomes with /fillbiome. It is a brand new command they've just added, and so right now we're in an ocean biome, but if we wanted to make this biome, say, I don't know, like, do we want to make it a Badlands? Now it's a Badlands. That means that when it rains, it won't rain in this particular spot. It'll rain over here, it'll rain over here, and it'll rain over here. But in this spot, as you can see, no rain whatsoever. Actually, I think we need a bigger fill area for that to work. Let's try, like, I don't know, 10 by 10 or something. So if we try filling this area with a 10 by 10 Badlands, which I'm pretty sure, there we go. Wait, no. Oh, because of 3D biomes, we need to make sure that it's not raining in this entire area, which I think we've done. Yeah, look at that. You can see how this area has no rain in it, despite all of these areas do having rain. And then we can use this even crazier if we want to, because we can make it, say, a snowing place here. So, what is it called? Like a snowy slopes, let's say. And now it snows in this particular section, but it rains all of around it. My question is, will it rain above this too because of 3D biomes? Because that seems illogical, but I also see totally how they could get to that. So, just kind of stacking up with what I've got right here. But as we get to the top, I think the answer is it. No, wow, yeah, you can have snow right below rain. That makes absolutely no sense. This whole thing is very confusing. But yeah, you can now officially change the biome, so you can make it snowy in the middle of a Badlands, or Badlands in the middle of a snow biome. However, a lot of people are confused about this because you might think like, wait, I didn't see any of the blocks change, and that's obviously because I set the blocks here. However, even if you do go to a part of the world with just natural terrain generation, and we do the exact same thing, it won't change how the world looks. Setting the biome for the world is different to setting the world generation. In the same way that I've destroyed an entire desert, or, I've covered a forest in stone, that didn't change the underlying biome. Minecraft sets a biome and then it sticks with it, so even if we set this to, what's the most ridiculous biome? Like a mushroom biome? The mushroom fields, yeah, sure. We changed this entire place to a mushroom fields, and nothing changes visually, because first of all, the blocks have already been placed as a beach, and second of all, there is no rain difference between a mushroom field and a beach, I guess it would be. The only thing that you can change this way, mostly, is, different rules about blocks, what freezes and when, and also the way the weather interacts with it. And finally, take a look at what you're seeing right now. Pay attention to the colors, because all of a sudden, it's going to get a lot more what is this, like savanna-y looking? Because grass, as well as leaves, as well as sugarcane color, at least on Bedrock, I'm pretty sure on Java too, will change based on the biome that you're in. This means you could do some really interesting things if you wanted to, and you better believe I want to. Because this is 5 oak trees, and this is 5 oak trees, but they're all parts of different biomes. In fact, there's some bonus points here, because this one, you'll notice it's a little bit red is flying around everywhere, and I think that's kind of cool. You can have that particle effect to anywhere, as well as changing the grass color in this really interesting, seamless way, but also we can change the way the oceans look. I mean, this is an ocean right here, and we can turn this into, what's the most interesting ocean? Like a deep cold ocean? Now, I feel like a lukewarm ocean, just a regular deep ocean. Wow, we can make this beautiful little patch of something. We can make our own pattern designs in here if we want to, even by just going in and randomly making some patches warm. We can change the look of water. There is a brand new customization tool for creative builders, and apparently you can use it to spawn in hoglins. They'll immediately turn to zoglins. Wow, that is quite cool. I wasn't expecting that. That is incredible for map makers. That is incredible for creative people, and it's incredible for people dicking around in Minecraft like I like to do. Honestly, I need to play around with 1.20 a bunch, because they really are adding a bunch of tools specifically for my favorite thing, it seems like. Anyway, speaking of my favorite thing, bug fixes. This update has some. In fact, this changelog is so long. Here is a long vertical image of it. It looks kind of like a receipt you get from like an American pharmacy, I guess. I don't know why they're so long, but it looks exactly like that. And a lot of that is they are doing a good job on bug fixes, but wait until you see what they're doing on the Bedrock edition. Actually, you do have to wait, because there's one other thing they've done, and that is change the creative inventory. Because King B Dogs confirmed on Twitter that this is the last iteration of the creative menu, or at least the last set of major changes, and they made particular changes to the redstone blocks tab. So obviously we still have the segregated Minecraft blocks. That's perfectly fine. The thing that's not perfectly fine is the fact that it's spelt colored without the U in it. I mean, what's the deal there? Is actually, wait, am I playing in British English or not? Never mind, just switch to British English, everything is good again. I really like the idea of the colored blocks tab separating natural blocks and building blocks. I do think that's really great. I think what would be good in the long run is having ways to like combine and collapse different items together, like having all of the oak come out of one tab in the same way it does in Java, or having all of the colored beds, for example, right? Like, I mean, where are they right now? I'm gonna guess they're in functional blocks. Having all of these colors of beds and candles, because candles are also in colored blocks. This can get confusing real quick for a lot of people, so that would be one improvement I'd make. But something I really like is the redstone tab. This is something that a lot of time was put into, but I quite like it personally. I think redstone ore being in there, it always feels strange, but I appreciate it's a redstone thing. Everything else though, it's like, yeah, this is every single redstone block, even the weird ones, like you can use bamboo, you can use boats with chests for that. Only using particular, one boat with chest, because if it's just for redstone, you don't really care. That's pretty cool. Having the raft in there too, just in case that's your type, really, really great as well. Having all of the kind of triggers at the top, and then the kind of functional middle blocks in the middle, then the transportation, and weird, kind of functions at the end. It really is quite intuitive, and it's going to encourage a lot more people to become redstoners. That's right, Minecraft wants more stoners, and this is the way they're doing it. I think in general though, there's a lot of really great changes. Having all the suspicious stews and having them be labeled, that's pretty great as well. Having even all the spawn eggs, including the new ones, it is a great change to the creative inventory. I still stick to my point that why are we still not dealing with parity on that one? But it's nice for Java, and this is the last change they're making. This will roll out for 1.19.3 in case you're curious. Speaking of things you might be curious about, here I am in the new Minecraft preview / beta for Bedrock. I'm really excited to play around with this new mob head / note block thing. In fact, this is something that you can be sure is here on Bedrock, because they literally announced it earlier this week, except, okay, the actual changelog has one feature, and that one feature is they reverted the change regarding pistons not pulling you into blocks again, which is really interesting if you ask me, because yeah, basically this is a feature which is not making its way to Bedrock. Yeah, it might be here next week. They have only clarified it'll be coming in the coming weeks, but yeah, sadly, this whole Java amazing snapshot, none of it has been duplicated into Bedrock. Yeah, you might have the theory that well, it's probably because of chiseled bookshelves, right? I mean, getting that to work on touch controls is hard. It's been confirmed by Olraf that actually they think it works just great on touch controls. It's harder to use a button or a lever, and And actually, yeah, if you think about it, using a lever on touch can be kind of tricky, same with a button. And so, yeah, the actual explanation is something happened over there, and we're not sure what, and we're not sure when we're going to be getting it. Obviously, it'll be a part of 1.20, but it is kind of confusing on that beta snapshot parity thing. I think overall it doesn't actually matter for the betas and the snapshots, but it is very strange that it never happens the other way. They used to have features that would come to Bedrock first, then they'd later reveal them on Java, whereas now they seem to be adamant that like, oh, features should never come to Bedrock first, but if they come to Java first, that's fine. And I really don't know if they understand parity, or maybe I don't understand parity. Maybe I've been misunderstanding this entire time. All I know is that these two brand new desert wells sure are great looking, huh? You know, I guess this is actually 1.19 desert wells, huh? But also what I know is that, yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer, but overall, that's how these things be. I didn't realize my webcam was on, but I guess it is. So how's it going? You having a good day? I want to quickly announce, not only am I streaming tomorrow, Thursday's stream day, as well as podcast day, but also I want to announce something really cool, because Ultra Flat Survival did just hit more downloads in its first month than Ultra Hard Survival Hex, my last challenge map, hit in its entire lifetime. So that's really exciting. If you want to get your hands on it, you can right now. There is a patch which is currently with Microsoft. I don't know when it's going to come out. It's going to fix some things as well as add some additional features. I always want to improve these things. And if you download the map now, you'll get all the updates for free forever, because that's how it works. So yeah, I hope you'll enjoy this video. I hope that we see some brand new features on Bedrock in the not so near future, and if we don't, well then I hope you had a good day anyway, because I look forward to seeing you in the next one. You can get this skin for free by going to Ultra Flat Survival. You don't even need to buy the map. It's free without buying the map. That some would say that's bad business. I would say that I'm doing it anyway. So yeah, get yourself Toy Cat with an orange square for a head on the marketplace now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this week's snapshot video, because I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.